The information provided in this video is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal or official government advice. All information is provided in good faith, however. We make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of any information. Always consult with official government sources, such as the U.S. Department of State website, for the most current and accurate information before making any travel plans. Imagine this for a second. You've just spent months, maybe even years, planning the perfect vacation. You've saved up thousands of dollars for a dream trip to Italy. You've booked the flights, the charming hotels, the wine tours. You've packed your bags, you've arranged for a pet sitter, and you are standing at the airline check-in counter, practically vibrating with excitement. You hand over your U.S. passport. The agent scans it, types a few things, and then looks up at you with that quiet, sympathetic look that instantly makes your stomach drop. "I'm so sorry," she says, "but we can't let you board this flight." You're confused. You check the expiration date on your passport. It's not for another 2 years. But the agent explains that because of a new international rule you've never heard of, and a new security feature your passport is missing, it's completely invalid for entry into Europe. Your entire trip, all that money, all that planning, evaporates right there under the fluorescent lights of the airport. This isn't some far-fetched horror story. This is a scenario that is going to become terrifyingly real for millions of unprepared Americans starting in 2026. Your U.S. passport is about to undergo the most significant transformation in a generation, and the tidal wave of change is coming much faster than anyone realizes. We are on the verge of a massive global shift in travel security, and the simple blue booklet you've carried for years is at the center of it all. If you think you can just wait until your current passport expires to figure this out, you are setting yourself up for a world of hurt. That's why I'm making this video. Over the next few minutes, I am going to give you the complete roadmap to navigate these monumental changes. We're not just talking about a cosmetic redesign. We are talking about the rollout of the next-generation passport, the mandatory integration of your biometric data into global travel networks, the launch of a new digital passport that will live on your phone, and a brand new pre-authorization system for Europe that will deny you entry if you don't comply. By the time you finish this presentation, you will know exactly what is changing, why it's changing, and precisely what you need to do to ensure that you are never the person left standing at the airport watching your dream vacation fly away without you. So let's start with the physical passport itself. The booklet in your drawer right now is already becoming a relic. The U.S. Department of State has already begun phasing in what they call the Next Generation Passport, or NGP. You might have one already if you've renewed in the last year or so, but by 2026, this will be the standard, and older versions will start to create problems at border crossings. So what's different? The most important change is the data page, the page with your photo and information. Instead of being a flimsy, laminated piece of paper, it's now made of a single fused sheet of polycarbonate. This isn't just about making it more durable so it survives a trip through the laundry. This is a massive security upgrade. Polycarbonate allows for security features to be literally laser engraved into the very fabric of the card, not just printed on top. We're talking incredibly detailed holographic images that shift and change as you tilt the card. We're talking tactile features, like raised lettering and patterns you can feel with your fingertips. Your personal information, your signature, and your photo are all etched into multiple layers of the plastic, making it virtually impossible to tamper with or counterfeit. If someone tries to peel back a layer to change the photo, the entire page will self-destruct. This new data page also houses an upgraded RFID chip. Now your current passport has a chip, but the new one is more robust and contains more data points, which are encrypted with a higher level of security. It's designed to be read by next-generation scanners at airports, which can verify your identity in seconds by matching the chip's data to you, the live person standing in front of them. The goal here is to combat the explosive rise in identity theft and the use of fraudulent travel documents by criminals and terrorists. For you, it means your passport is far more secure. But it also means that if your older passport shows even the slightest sign of tampering or damage to that data page, it's going to get flagged by these new, highly sensitive systems. That little tear you've ignored for years could suddenly become a trip-canceling problem. But the physical passport is only half the story. The truly game-changing development is what's happening in the digital realm. Get ready to hear a new acronym a lot. DTC, which stands for Digital Travel Credential. The DTC is, quite simply, a digital version of your passport that is securely stored on your mobile device. Think of it like adding a credit card to your Apple Wallet or Google Pay. It's a secure digital token that represents your official identity. The U.S. government, along with international aviation authorities, is aggressively pushing this technology forward. The vision is a future of seamless travel, a future where you walk through an airport and barely break your stride. You'll use your phone to check in, your phone to drop your bags, your phone to go through the security checkpoint, and your phone to board the plane. At each step, you'll just tap your device or use facial recognition, which is linked to the DTC stored on your phone. This isn't science fiction. It's already being tested in pilot programs at major international airports. The technology allows your identity to be verified in advance, before you even get to the airport. The airline can ping the DTC on your phone to confirm you are who you say you are, and that your passport is valid for the destination you're flying to. This digital handshake happens in the background, drastically speeding up the entire process. The security benefits are immense. A physical passport can be stolen. A digital credential, protected by the biometrics on your phone like your fingerprint or your face, is infinitely harder to compromise. But it also means your ability to travel will soon be tied directly to your smartphone. It raises huge questions about privacy, data security, and what happens if your phone battery dies. The government is working on answers, but the transition is happening regardless. By 2026, the framework for DTCs will be firmly in place, and opting out will become increasingly difficult and inconvenient. Now let's talk about Europe. This is the most immediate and impactful change for the majority of American travelers. If you have any plans to visit one of the 30 countries in the European Schengen area in the near future, that's France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Greece, most of the continent, you need to listen very carefully. Starting in mid-2025, and becoming fully in force for the travel boom of 2026, the old way of just showing up with your US passport is over. The European Union is launching a new system called ETIAS, the European Travel Information and Authorization System. Let's be crystal clear. ETIAS is not a visa, but it is a mandatory electronic pre-authorization that every single American citizen will need to obtain before they can even board a flight to Europe. You will have to go online to an official ETIAS website, fill out a detailed application form with your personal information, passport details, travel plans, and answer a series of security questions. You will pay a fee, and your information will be checked against a vast network of international security databases, including Interpol and Europol. The system will analyze your data and, within minutes, hopefully, grant you a 3-year authorization to travel to the Schengen zone. But here's the critical part. This authorization is electronically linked to your passport number. When the airline agent scans your passport at check-in, their system will automatically check the ETIAS database. If you don't have an approved authorization linked to that passport, their system will flash a big red, "Do not board" message. There will be no talking your way out of it. No exceptions. The goal of ETIAS is to pre-screen travelers from visa-free countries, like the United States, to identify any potential security, criminal, or public health risks before they arrive at the border. It's Europe's new virtual wall. And while the process is designed to be quick, any red flags in your application could trigger a manual review, which could take weeks to resolve. This means you have to apply well in advance of your trip. The days of spontaneous, last-minute trips to Paris are numbered if you haven't done your ETIAS homework first. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because the single biggest change, the one that connects your physical passport to a global network of biometric scanners, is the one that will truly redefine what it means to travel as an American. The technology is already being installed in major airports, and what it means for your privacy and your ability to cross borders is something you absolutely need to understand. This new system is officially known as the Biometric Entry-Exit Program, and its goal is breathtakingly simple: to make your face your passport. Imagine this for a moment. You arrive at the international terminal for your flight to London or Tokyo. Instead of joining a long snaking line to have a TSA agent scrutinize your ID and boarding pass, you simply walk through a corridor. As you walk, a series of high-resolution cameras scan your face. A fraction of a second later, a green light flashes on a screen ahead of you, displaying your name and flight number. You're clear. You didn't stop. You didn't talk to anyone. You didn't even break your stride. Next, you arrive at the boarding gate. There's no gate agent collecting boarding passes. Instead, there's another camera array. You look into it, it recognizes you, and the gate opens. You walk onto the plane. When you land back in the United States after your trip, the process is the same. You deplane and walk towards customs. Instead of handing your passport to a Customs and Border Protection officer, you again just look at a camera. It matches your face to the digital photo associated with your passport, confirms you're a U.S. citizen, and welcomes you home. The entire international arrivals process, which can sometimes take hours, could be reduced to a matter of minutes or even seconds. This isn't a hypothetical future. This is the reality that Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, is actively building towards for 2026. Pilot programs under the name Simplified Arrival are already operational in virtually all major U.S. international airports. You may have already experienced it without even fully realizing what was happening. But by 2026, the goal is for this to be the standard, mandatory process for all international travelers, including American citizens. The physical passport book isn't disappearing just yet, but its role is fundamentally changing from the primary document of verification to a backup system. Your identity, for the purposes of crossing the U.S. border, will no longer be a government-issued booklet you hold in your hand. It will be the unique geometry of your own face. Your eyes, your nose, the curve of your jaw measured, digitized, and stored in a federal database. So, where did this massive, technologically ambitious, and frankly slightly dystopian idea come from? It wasn't born in a tech lab in Silicon Valley. It was born from the ashes of September 11th, the 9/11 Commission report, a document that reshaped American security, explicitly recommended the implementation of a biometric entry-exit screening system. The logic was clear. To prevent terrorists from entering the country using fraudulent documents, the government needed a way to verify that the person holding the passport was actually the person to whom it was issued. Fingerprints were an early option, but facial recognition was seen as the holy grail. It's contactless, fast, and can be done from a distance without the traveler even needing to stop. Congress then took that recommendation and turned it into law, mandating that the Department of Homeland Security develop and implement this system. What started as a security recommendation has, over 2 decades, morphed into a sprawling technological infrastructure project. CBP has partnered with airlines and airport authorities, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to install the necessary cameras and back-end software. Here's how it actually works, and it's both brilliantly simple and incredibly complex. When you apply for a passport or a U.S. visa, you submit a photograph. That photograph is digitized and stored by the State Department. Under this new system, CBP pulls that photograph, along with photos from other government encounters, into a secure cloud-based database. They use these images to create what's called a biometric template, or a gallery, for each traveler. It's essentially a unique mathematical representation of your face. When you step up to a camera at the airport, it captures a live image of you. Sophisticated algorithms then instantly compare the geometry of your live face to the templates in the database. If it finds a match with a high enough confidence score, it verifies your identity. The entire process takes less than 2 seconds. The promised benefits are, on the surface, incredibly appealing. First, there's the speed and convenience we've already talked about. Proponents argue this will dramatically reduce wait times and make the airport experience far less stressful. Second, there's the security argument. A high-quality fake passport can fool a human officer, but it's much harder to fool a facial recognition algorithm that is comparing the live person to a trusted government photo. CBP claims the technology is over 99% accurate and has already helped them catch hundreds of imposters trying to enter the country on someone else's travel documents. They argue it closes a critical security gap that has existed for decades. It also helps them track foreign nationals to ensure they leave the country when their visa expires, fulfilling the exit part of the entry-exit mandate. For the traveler, it means a potentially smoother, faster journey. For the government, it means a more secure and tightly controlled border. But here's where the story gets complicated, and where the promise of convenience collides with profound questions about privacy, consent, and control. This system relies on the largest-scale deployment of facial recognition technology on U.S. citizens in our nation's history, and it's being rolled out with surprisingly little public debate. While non-citizens have long been subject to biometric collection like fingerprinting upon entry, the mandatory inclusion of American citizens in a facial recognition system is a monumental shift. You, as a U.S. citizen, currently have the right to opt out of the facial scan and be processed by an officer using your physical passport. However, this option is often poorly advertised, and the infrastructure is being built with the clear intention of making it the default, universal standard. The core of the problem is the data. What happens to your facial scan once it's taken at the airport? CBP says the photos of U.S. citizens are deleted within 12 hours. But the biometric templates, that mathematical representation of your face, can be stored for much longer, up to 75 years in some government systems. And who has access to this data? CBP has partnerships with airlines and other commercial entities to run the system. What are their data security protocols? What happens if there's a breach? A hacker stealing your credit card number is one thing. A hacker stealing a digital map of your face is something else entirely. That's data you can never change. Furthermore, there are serious concerns about mission creep. The system is being sold to us as a tool for airport efficiency and border security. But once a government has a massive database of its citizens' faces, linked to their identities and their movements, the temptation to use it for other purposes becomes immense. Could this data be shared with other law enforcement agencies like the FBI for domestic surveillance? Could it be used to track people attending peaceful protests or political rallies? The technical infrastructure being built to check your passport is functionally identical to the infrastructure needed to create a widespread public surveillance network. The only thing separating the two is policy, and policies can change. The question we have to ask ourselves is not just how this technology will be used in 2026, but how it could be used in 2036 or 2046. And what happens when the algorithm makes a mistake? Because they do make mistakes. Even a 99% accuracy rate means thousands of false matches every single day in busy airports. What if the system incorrectly flags you as being on a watch list? Or falsely matches you to a criminal suspect? You could be detained, questioned, and miss your flight. All because of a digital error, with very little recourse to challenge the black box of the algorithm. This isn't just an upgrade to your passport. It's a fundamental change in your relationship with the government, where your own body becomes a government-readable ID card. And this is just the beginning. The next change we're going to discuss moves beyond the airport and directly into your wallet, or more accurately, your smartphone. This new system is called the Digital Travel Credential, or DTC. And if you think it's just a PDF of your passport on your phone, you are dangerously underestimating what's happening. This isn't a picture of your ID. This is your ID. It's a highly encrypted, biometrically linked, government-issued credential that lives inside your smartphone. It's designed to completely replace that little blue book you've carried your whole life. On the surface, the sales pitch is incredible. The government and travel industry will tell you this is all about you. It's about convenience. It's about speed. Imagine walking up to a security checkpoint, tapping your phone on a reader, glancing at a camera, and just walking through. No more fumbling through your bag, heart pounding trying to find your passport. No more worn out, faded photo pages that a border agent has to squint at for 5 minutes. The process will be seamless, touchless, and instantaneous. They'll tell you it's more secure. A physical passport can be stolen, it can be expertly forged. But a digital travel credential, they claim, is protected by the fortress of your phone security. Your Face ID, your fingerprint, your passcode, plus layers of government-grade encryption on top of that. In their perfect world, identity theft becomes a thing of the past. And this isn't some far-off science fiction concept. The pilot programs are already running. Major international airports from Aruba to Finland are testing this technology right now with real passengers. The International Civil Aviation Organization, the UN body that sets global passport standards, has already published the entire framework for these DTCs. They are standardizing the technology so that every country can adopt it. The goal is a universal system, and the target for widespread implementation is lining up perfectly with 2026. They are building the digital highway right now, and soon we'll all be required to drive on it. But here is the question they hope you never ask. What is the price of that convenience? What are you trading away for the luxury of saving 5 minutes in a security line? The answer is control. You are trading total control over your most fundamental document, your proof of identity and citizenship, for a fleeting moment of ease. Let's start with the most obvious risk. Your phone. Your entire life is already on that device. Your bank accounts, your private messages, your photos, your location history. Now you're going to add the single most powerful key to your identity to that same little glass box. Think about what that means. If a thief steals your wallet, you can cancel your credit cards. It's a hassle, but it's manageable. If a hacker gets into your phone when it contains your digital travel credential, they don't just have your credit card number. They have you. They have your biometric data. They have your government-verified identity. The potential for a new, terrifyingly complete form of identity theft is staggering. And we all know that no system is unhackable. Not Apple, not Google, and certainly not a sprawling government IT project. Your identity becomes just one data breach away from being posted on the dark web. But let's say you never get hacked. Let's say your phone is perfectly secure. The second, more sinister issue is the one of surveillance. A physical passport book is a wonderfully analog and private document. It sits in your drawer. It doesn't track you. It doesn't report back to anyone. The only record of its use is a physical ink stamp placed by a human being when you cross a border. A digital travel credential by its very nature is different. It is a live, connected piece of data. Every time you use it, every time you tap your phone at an airport kiosk, a hotel check-in desk, a car rental agency, a train station, you create a digital breadcrumb, a permanent, time-stamped, geolocated record of your movements. In the beginning, they'll say it's only for international travel. But how long will that last? How long until it's used for domestic flights? Then for entering federal buildings? Then for buying a train ticket? It becomes a de facto national digital ID. And the infrastructure of surveillance that comes with it will be unprecedented. It creates a world where a government agency could, with a few keystrokes, pull up a complete and detailed history of your every major movement. They might promise that the data is private, that it's protected by laws. But we've seen time and time again how those promises can be broken in the name of national security or public safety. This technology builds the cage. All it takes is a future crisis for them to decide to lock the door. And then there's the most practical, and perhaps most infuriating problem of all, the single point of failure. We've all been there. You're running through the airport, late for your flight, and you see that dreaded red battery icon on your phone. Now imagine your phone isn't just for your boarding pass. It's for your entire identity. What happens when your battery dies? What happens if you drop your phone and the screen shatters? What if the government app glitches? Or their server goes down for maintenance right as you're trying to board a flight to your sister's wedding? Right now, if your phone dies, it's an inconvenience. In the world of 2026, it could mean you are stranded. You are, for all intents and purposes, a non-person. You can't prove who you are. You can't get on your flight. You can't check into your hotel. You are completely at the mercy of a technology that is notoriously unreliable. The physical passport in your pocket works without a battery. It works if it's been through the wash. It works during a power outage. Puts the power and control in your hands. The digital passport takes that power and gives it to a tech company, a government server, and the lithium-ion battery in your pocket. This also creates a new form of a digital divide. The system is being designed by and for people who are comfortable with technology and can afford the latest $1,000 smartphone. But what about the elderly person who still uses a flip phone? What about the low-income family that can't afford to buy new phones every 2 years when the software becomes obsolete? Will they be forced to buy a specific device just to exercise their right to travel? Will they be relegated to slower, separate lines, treated like second-class citizens because they haven't bought into the mandatory digital ecosystem? It's a subtle but powerful way of forcing every single citizen into a technological framework, whether they want it or not. When you connect this to the biometric systems we just talked about, the full picture becomes terrifyingly clear. First, they normalize scanning your face, your unique biological identifier, making your body the key. That's step one. Now, with the digital travel credential, they are linking that biometric key to a trackable, controllable digital token that you have to carry with you at all times. That's step two. It's a pincer movement on personal freedom and privacy, sold to us under the banner of progress and convenience. They are creating a system where your physical self and your digital self are permanently fused together and logged in a government database. By 2026, the push will be to make this the default. The physical passport book will start to be seen as an old, outdated legacy document. The pressure to adopt the digital version will be immense. The travel lines for digital users will be faster. Some services might only be available to those with a DTC. They will make the old way so inconvenient that everyone will be herded into the new digital pen. And it's this creation of a centralized digital identity that unlocks the door for the next, even more shocking change. Because once everyone has a mandatory government-approved digital ID on their phone, the government then has a direct lever of control over every citizen's ability to move. They've built the system. They've gotten everyone on it. The next logical step is to decide who gets to use it and when. The next rule change we're about to cover isn't about a new piece of technology. It's about a new philosophy of permission. a system where your very right to travel is no longer a given, but something that can be turned on or off with the flip of a switch. This new system, which is being quietly workshopped in policy circles and think tanks under benign-sounding names like the Secure Travel Initiative or the National Traveler Verification Network, is a fundamental reimagining of what a passport represents. For over 200 years, a U.S. passport has been a document of identity, proves you are who you say you are. It is a key that, once issued, unlocks the world. But under this proposed framework, the passport becomes a document of permission. It's no longer a key you hold, but a door that someone else can lock. Imagine this. Your passport, both the physical booklet and its digital counterpart, is linked in real time to a centralized federal database. Let's call it the Travel Authorization Status Database. This database doesn't just check if your passport is expired or reported stolen. No, it's far more comprehensive. It cross-references your identity with dozens of other databases in real time. The IRS, the Department of Justice, the Treasury, state-level law enforcement, even credit bureaus and public health networks. Before you can book an international flight, before you can even pass through customs to re-enter your own country, your passport number is pinged against this master database. The system returns one of two responses: green or red, authorized or denied. The official justification, the one you'll hear on the evening news, will sound perfectly reasonable. It's about safety. It's about security. It's about responsibility. They'll say it's designed to stop fugitives from fleeing the country, to prevent individuals on the terrorist watch list from boarding a plane far more effectively than the current no-fly list. They'll argue it can be used to stop someone with a massive delinquent tax bill from escaping their obligations to the country. During a pandemic, it could be used to prevent unvaccinated or infected individuals from traveling, all in the name of public health. On the surface, each of these reasons seems logical. They target the bad guys, the irresponsible few, to protect the law-abiding many. But the architecture of such a system, the very mechanism of that switch, creates a power that is ripe for abuse, and its potential scope goes far beyond what any of us would consider reasonable. Let's walk through a scenario. Meet David. David is a 45-year-old software engineer from Austin, Texas. He's a good guy, pays his taxes, coaches his daughter's soccer team. For their 20th anniversary, he and his wife, Sarah, have been saving for years to take the trip of a lifetime, 2 weeks in the south of France. They've booked the hotels, arranged the time off work, and even hired a French tutor for a few months. The excitement is palpable. A month before their trip, David goes online to check in for their flight. He enters his and Sarah's passport numbers. Sarah's status comes back instantly: travel authorized, green. But next to his name, a small red box appears: travel denied. Please contact the National Travel Inquiry Office for more information. David's heart sinks. It has to be a mistake. Typo. He tries again. Same result. He calls the airline. They're polite but useless. "I'm sorry, sir," the agent says. "We just get the notification from the government. We can't see the reason and we can't override it. It's a federal mandate." So David calls the National Travel Inquiry Office. After 2 hours on hold, navigating an endless phone tree, he finally gets a human being. The agent on the other end is reading from a script. "Mr. Miller, our records indicate your travel status has been temporarily suspended pending resolution of a federal inquiry." "What inquiry?" David asks, his voice tight with frustration. "I haven't done anything wrong. I'm afraid I cannot disclose the nature of the inquiry over the phone, sir. You should have received a notice by mail." David hasn't received any notice. He spends the next week frantically checking the mail, calling the helpline every day, each time getting the same non-answer. His dream trip is evaporating before his eyes. Sarah is trying to be supportive, but he can see the deep disappointment in her face. Finally, after a week of bureaucratic hell, a letter arrives. It's from the Treasury Department. It states that a financial transaction from 3 years ago has been flagged by an automated system as potentially suspicious. The transaction? David sold about $5,000 worth of cryptocurrency on an exchange to help pay for a new roof. He reported it on his taxes. He paid the capital gains. He has the records to prove it. But the automated system, designed to catch money launderers and tax evaders, cast a wide net and his transaction got caught in it. The letter informs him that to clear his name and restore his travel status, he must provide a full, audited history of all his financial transactions for the past 5 years. An accountant tells him this will take weeks and cost him thousands of dollars. His trip to France is in 2 weeks. It's impossible. The trip is canceled. They lose their deposits. The anniversary is spent at home, under a cloud of stress and injustice. David eventually clears his name 6 months and $4,000 later. His travel authorized status is flicked back to green, but the damage is done. He was presumed guilty by an algorithm. His fundamental right to leave his own country was revoked without due process, without a hearing, without a human being even looking at his case until he had moved mountains to prove his own innocence. Now multiply David's story by 1 million, by 10 million. What happens when this system is fully implemented? The reasons for a red status could be anything: an IRS audit, a disputed federal student loan payment, a child support case, even one where you are fully compliant but a clerical error says otherwise. What if it's linked to a new public health mandate, and you're denied travel because you missed a required booster shot? This isn't a slippery slope fallacy. It is the logical endpoint of creating such a centralized system of control. Every new crisis, every new political priority, becomes another reason to add a new category to the denial list. The system is just too tempting for those in power not to use. Think about the potential for error. We've all dealt with the DMV, the IRS, the healthcare system. We know that bureaucratic errors are not the exception, they are the rule. Now imagine an error not just causing you a headache with your tax return, but literally trapping you inside your own country, with the burden of proof falling entirely on you to fix it. This is the reality of turning a passport from a document of identity into a document of permission. You are no longer a citizen with an inherent right to travel. You become a subject whose travel privileges are contingent on your perfect, algorithmically verifiable compliance with an ever-expanding list of government databases. The flip of a switch isn't just about stopping a known terrorist at the airport. It's about a future where an anonymous bureaucrat, or worse, a faulty piece of code, can place you under virtual house arrest for an offense you may not have even committed. It's a system where your freedom of movement is no longer a right, but a reward for good behavior, as defined by the government. And that brings us to the most chilling question of all. In this new world, who writes the rules? Who programs the algorithms that decide who is green and who is red? The answer to that question reveals how a system sold to us as a tool for security could become the perfect tool for political control and social engineering. The answer is not some shadowy figure in a smoke-filled room. It's far more complex and frankly far more unnerving. The rules aren't written by a single entity. They are coded, calculated, and constantly refined by a sprawling network, a public-private partnership of unprecedented scale. On one side, you have the expected government agencies, the Department of Homeland Security, the State Department, the NSA. But they are not the ones with the real power here. The real power, the real data, lies with their partners. We're talking about the tech giants of Silicon Valley, the data brokers you've never even heard of, the financial institutions that track every penny you spend. For decades, the US government has outsourced its technological development, and in the process, it has outsourced its surveillance capabilities. Why build a new, clunky government database when you can simply tap into the most sophisticated data collection machine ever created? The commercial internet. These private companies, LexisNexis, Axiom, Palantir, are the true architects of this new system. Their entire business model is to know everything about you. They scrape your social media profiles, they buy your credit card transaction history, they track your location through the apps on your phone. They know what car you drive, what medications you take, what websites you visit at 3 a.m. They compile all of this into a digital dossier, a shadow profile that is more complete and more intimate than any government file could ever be. And they sell access to this information. Under the new digital identity framework, the government won't need to build a massive surveillance state from scratch. It will simply subscribe to one. Your passport application, your request to cross the border will trigger a query, not just to the FBI's criminal database, but to a vast interconnected web of private data. Your entire life, vacuumed up by corporations for profit, will be cross-referenced in milliseconds by a government algorithm to determine your threat level. This sounds familiar, it should. It's the Americanization of the social credit system. We've all heard the horror stories from China. Citizens blocked from buying plane tickets because they jaywalked, or shamed on public billboards for having low social scores. We in the West tend to look at that with a sense of superiority, thinking, that could never happen here. We have a constitution. We have rights. But we've been blind to the fact that we've been building our own version piece by piece for years. Doesn't look the same. It's not run directly by a single political party. It's a privatized, decentralized, for-profit version. It's social credit with a capitalist face, and it's infinitely more subtle and perhaps even more powerful. Think about the data points that could feed into your travel readiness score. It starts with the obvious: criminal records, no-fly lists. But then it expands. Your financial history. Are you deeply in debt? Do you make late payments? An algorithm could interpret that as a sign of desperation, making you a potential risk. What about your purchasing habits? Buying large quantities of fertilizer for your farm could look identical to a bomb maker's shopping list to a machine that lacks context. Donating to a controversial political group, or even a church that falls out of favor with the current administration, could lower your score. Then there's your social graph. The algorithms won't just judge you. They will judge you by the company you keep. Who are your friends on Facebook? Who is in your phone's contact list? If your second cousin posts extremist memes, his risk score can become your liability. The principle of guilt by association becomes an automated, inescapable reality. You don't even have to do anything wrong. You just have to know someone who a black box algorithm decides is the wrong kind of person. And of course, there is your online behavior. The articles you read, the videos you watch, the comments you leave. This system will have the ability to analyze your speech for sentiment, for keywords, for ideological alignment. What constitutes disinformation or malicious content? The definition is fluid. It can be changed overnight with a simple software update. The political opinions that are perfectly acceptable today could be grounds for a red flag tomorrow. Imagine this scenario. Let's call her Sarah. She's a 35-year-old nurse from Ohio. She's never been arrested, pays her taxes, and is planning a 10th anniversary trip to Cancun with her husband. But a few years ago, she attended a protest against a local zoning law. The protest was peaceful, but it was flagged in a law enforcement database. She also once donated $50 to a humanitarian charity that was later, without her knowledge, accused of having ties to a foreign group deemed hostile by the State Department. On top of that, her phone's location data show she occasionally drives past a gun range on her way to visit her parents. Individually, these are meaningless data points in the life of a normal American. But when fed into the new system, an algorithm connects them. Protest attendance plus donation to a flag charity plus proximity to a firearms location. The machine doesn't see a nurse from Ohio, sees a pattern. It calculates a risk score. Sarah and her husband arrive at the airport, excited for their vacation. She scans her phone at the security gate. Instead of a green check mark, she gets a red X. Travel not authorized. Please see a DHS agent. She's pulled into a side room. There are no explanations. The agents can't tell her why she was flagged. They don't know. The decision was made by a proprietary algorithm, owned by a private contractor. It's a black box. There is no one to appeal to, no evidence to challenge because the process is completely invisible. Her trip is ruined, her name is on a list, and she has no idea how to get it off. Her life has been altered by a secret judgment she can never face. This is the world we are stepping into. It's a world where your freedom of movement is no longer a right, but a privilege granted to you based on a constant, automated background check of your entire existence. We have been like the proverbial frog in the pot of slowly warming water. For years, we've been giving away our privacy for convenience. We clicked "I agree" without reading. We let apps track our location for a better user experience. We shared our thoughts and our lives on social media for likes and connections. Each one was a tiny incremental increase in the temperature. Now, in 2026, with the full implementation of this digital passport system, the water is about to boil. We've willingly handed over the raw materials, our data, our lives, for the construction of our own cage. The system is being sold to us as a way to stop terrorists and criminals from crossing our borders. But the architecture being built is capable of so much more. It's a tool of social sorting on a massive scale. It creates a digital caste system. The compliant and the approved, who get to travel and participate freely in society, and the problematic and the flagged, who become prisoners in their own country. This raises the most important question of all. What is the true endgame here? If a system has the power to control who can leave, it also has the power to control who can move around inside the country, or who can get a loan, or who can buy a car. What happens when this digital ID isn't just for international travel, but becomes the key to every aspect of modern life? And what happens to the people who say no? What is the fate of those who try to opt out of a system that is designed to be inescapable? This is the fundamental question of the 21st century. Because when a system is designed to be total, opting out is not a choice. It's a declaration of exile. The fate of those who refuse is not to live freely off the grid, like some romanticized hermit in the woods. Their fate is to be systematically and surgically removed from the society they were born into. They will become the new underclass, the digitally invisible. Let's not talk in hypotheticals. Let's map out exactly what this looks like. The process begins not with a jackboot, but with a simple software update. First, the financial sector. Under the banner of new, Know Your Customer, and anti-money laundering laws, the federal government mandates that all financial institutions must verify their clients' identities using the new federal digital ID system. Your old driver's license or social security number will no longer suffice. For 99% of the population, this is a minor inconvenience. They'll link their bank account to their digital ID in under a minute through an app. But for the person who says no, the consequences are catastrophic. Their bank sends them a notice. Action required. Please verify your identity with your new digital ID to maintain account access. They ignore it. A month later, their debit card is declined at the grocery store. Their direct deposit from work bounces. They can't pay their mortgage or their car insurance. They are, for all intents and purposes, unbanked. They can't get a loan, can't apply for a credit card, can't even use a payment app like Venmo or PayPal, because all of them are now required to plug into the new federal system. They are relegated to a cash-only existence in a world that is aggressively phasing cash out. Next comes healthcare. The transition is sold as a miracle of efficiency and safety. Your entire medical history, your prescriptions, your insurance information, all securely tied to your one, unforgeable digital ID. No more filling out clipboards with the same information over and over. No more risk of medical identity theft. Sounds wonderful, but what happens when you, the dissenter, get sick? You walk into a clinic, and the receptionist asks you to scan your digital ID. You explain you don't have one. They look at you with a mixture of pity and confusion. The system literally has no way to process you. They can't look up your insurance. They can't access your medical records to see your allergies or pre-existing conditions. They can't prescribe you medication, because the pharmacy's verification system is linked to the same national ID. You become a medical ghost, unable to access the very system your tax dollars have funded for your entire life. In an emergency, they might be able to treat you as a John Doe, but the bureaucratic nightmare that follows would be immense, and the bills would be insurmountable without verified insurance. Then, inevitably, it comes for your ability to work. Large corporations, followed by small businesses, will adopt the digital ID for their hiring and payroll. It's just easier. It streamlines background checks, guarantees I-9 compliance, and eliminates payroll fraud. Job applications will have a new, mandatory field: digital ID number. If you leave it blank, the computer automatically discards your application. You could be the most qualified person in the world, but without the ID, you are unemployable in the formal economy. You're pushed into the shadows, forced to find under-the-table work, always looking over your shoulder. Bit by bit, the walls close in. You can't board a domestic flight. You can't rent a car. You can't buy a train ticket. You can't enter a federal building. Soon, you can't even enter a sports stadium or a concert venue. As private businesses adopt the secure and efficient government standard to protect their patrons, the world you knew, the world of free movement and association, shrinks until it's just the four walls of your home. A home you may soon lose because you can no longer pay the mortgage. This isn't a punishment handed down by a judge in a courtroom. It's a silent, bloodless, bureaucratic suffocation. And the most brilliant, most insidious part of this entire system is that the government will never have to force a single person to sign up. They won't have to pass a law that says, you must have a digital ID. They don't need to. They will simply make participation in normal life impossible without it. They create a prison with no bars, and then sell access to the outside world as a privilege contingent on your compliance. They'll use the language of security, convenience, and progress. And they will be telling the truth. It will be more secure. It will be more convenient. For those who comply, the official rationale will be bulletproof. They'll point to the billions of dollars lost each year to identity theft, a problem this new system would virtually eliminate. They'll highlight the national security benefits, arguing that it makes it impossible for terrorists or foreign agents to operate with fake identities. They'll talk about streamlining government services, saving taxpayers money, and cutting down on welfare fraud. Every argument will sound logical, reasonable, and responsible. They will paint a picture of a seamless, frictionless society where your identity is your key to everything. A world without wallets, without passwords, without worry. A utopia on demand. But the infrastructure that enables this utopia is identical to the infrastructure required for a dystopia. Once your identity, your location, your finances, and your access to services are all funneled through a single government-controlled digital choke point, the possibilities for control become limitless. This is where the conversation shifts from passports and travel to something far more profound: the implementation of a social credit system. It won't be called that, of course. It will be called a citizen trust score, or a reputation index. And it will start with something innocuous. The system will link your digital ID to your driving record. If you get a speeding ticket, you don't just pay a fine, you also lose a few points on your trust score. If your score dips too low, perhaps your car insurance premiums automatically increase. Maybe your self-driving car of the future simply won't allow you to exceed the speed limit. Most people will say, well, that makes sense. Bad drivers should be penalized. Then they'll expand it to financial responsibility. Are you paying your bills on time? Do you have too much debt relative to your income? Are you saving for retirement? Your trust score will reflect this. A lower score might mean higher interest rates on loans, or being denied a mortgage altogether. Again, many will shrug and say, that's just a more efficient credit score. It encourages responsible behavior. But then it takes the next inevitable step. The system begins to monitor your social behavior. Your online posts, the news articles you read, the groups you associate with. Are you sharing misinformation? Are you using divisive language? Are you attending protests that the government deems disruptive? Each action becomes a data point, feeding an algorithm that constantly adjusts your score. A low score doesn't just mean you can't get a loan. Now, it means you can't get that government job. It means you're flagged for extra screening at the airport. It means your children are denied entry into the best public schools. It means you are labeled, officially and algorithmically, as a less desirable citizen. This isn't a far-fetched fantasy. It's the logical endpoint of centralizing identity. You create a system where the government, and the corporations that work with it, become the ultimate arbiters of truth and good behavior. Your access to life itself becomes conditional, based on your willingness to conform. We've been talking about what happens to the people who consciously choose to opt out from the very beginning. But what happens to the people who try to play by the rules, who try to be good citizens but fall foul of the system? What happens when the machine, with its hidden biases and its cold, unfeeling logic, decides that you are the problem? What happens when the system turns you off? Let me tell you a story. It's about a man named Mark Peterson. Mark is not a real person, but his situation is about to become terrifyingly real for millions of Americans. Mark is 47 years old. He runs a small but successful contracting business in Ohio. He's married, has 2 kids in high school, and pays his taxes on time every time. He's the kind of guy who volunteers to coach Little League, who shovels his elderly neighbor's driveway in the winter. By every conceivable metric, Mark is a model citizen. He's never been in trouble with the law. Not so much as a speeding ticket in the last 15 years. Last year, Mark and his wife decided to do something special for their 20th anniversary. They were going to take the trip they'd always dreamed of, 2 weeks in Spain. They saved for years. They booked the flights, the hotels, they even started learning a little Spanish using an app on their phones. The last step was to renew their passports, which were set to expire. For Mark, this was just a piece of paperwork. A boring but necessary errand. He filled out the forms online, uploaded a new photo that his wife took in the backyard, and paid the fee. He did everything right. 6 weeks later, an email landed in his inbox. It wasn't the notification that his passport was on its way. The subject line was cold, bureaucratic, action required, U.S. passport application status. He opened it, and his heart sank. His application had been denied. Not delayed for more information. Denied. The reason cited was a cryptic code. Failure to resolve identity data conflict pursuant to Federal Mandate 42, CFR .71. What on earth did that mean? Mark was confused, then annoyed. He figured it was a simple mistake. Typo somewhere. So he called the National Passport Information Center. After 45 minutes on hold listening to Tini Vivaldi, he finally got a human being on the line. The agent was polite but useless. All she could do was read the same denial code back to him. She had no more information. She couldn't tell him what the data conflict was. She suggested he reapply. So he did. He painstakingly went through the entire process again, checking and double-checking every single letter and number. A month later, same email, same denial, same code. Now annoyance turned into panic. The trip to Spain was just 2 months away. He was at risk of losing thousands of dollars in non-refundable deposits. But it was more than the money. It was the principle. He was Mark Peterson, an American citizen. He had a birth certificate, a driver's license, a social security card. How could his own government not be able to verify his identity? He felt like he was disappearing. This is the point where Mark's story stops being about a passport and starts being about the silent, invisible architecture that will govern our lives in 2026. What Mark didn't know is that his application wasn't just being reviewed by a person. It was being fed into a new, highly sophisticated AI-driven verification system, a prototype of the system that will become standard for all travel documents. This system doesn't just look at the information you provide. It actively scours and cross-references dozens of separate government databases in real time. It talks to the IRS. It pings the Social Security Administration. It checks state-level DMV records and even certain local law enforcement databases. It's building a comprehensive digital picture of you, and it's looking for a perfect match. A single, unified, undisputed digital identity. And in Mark's digital file, it found a ghost. 25 years ago, when Mark was in college in a different state, he had an unpaid parking ticket. $100. He swears he never even saw it on his windshield. Over the years, that small fine was passed from the university to a municipal court, then to a third-party collection agency. The original paper record was digitized but poorly. His middle initial was entered incorrectly. Mark T. Peterson became Mark F. Peterson, a tiny, insignificant error that nobody noticed for 2 decades. Simultaneously, in a completely different database, the Social Security Administration had him listed at his childhood address for 3 years after he had already moved out, a common clerical lag. So now the new passport system sees 2 conflicting data points. One database says a Mark F. Peterson with an outstanding debt is associated with a specific Social Security number. Another database says the person with that Social Security number lived at a different address during that time. To a human, this is an obvious, easily explainable clerical error. But to the algorithm, it's a red flag. A big one. It's an identity data conflict. The system doesn't see a model citizen trying to go on vacation. It sees a potential fraud risk. It sees a Social Security number potentially being used by 2 different people. It sees a profile that is unverified. And the system's prime directive is simple. When in doubt, deny. Mark's problem was no longer a passport. His problem was that he had to prove to a machine that he was himself. How do you do that? How do you fight an algorithm? There's no one to call. There's no office to visit. There is only the denial code. He was trapped in a digital prison, and he didn't even know how he got there. He sent letters to congressmen. He spent hours on the phone being transferred from one department to another, each one claiming it wasn't their jurisdiction. The IRS said his taxes were fine. The SSA said his Social Security record was fine. The state DMV said his license was fine. Each individual piece of his identity was valid. But when the new system stitched them all together, the picture was corrupted. And no single agency was empowered or even able to fix the whole picture. This isn't science fiction. This is the logical and terrifying consequence of the move towards a fully integrated, Real ID-compliant digital identity system. The law set to take full effect in 2026 isn't just about putting your passport on your phone. It's about creating a single authoritative federal record of who you are. And if that record has a mistake in it, a mistake you might not even know exists, the system won't just deny you a passport. It will, in effect, turn you off. It could block you from boarding a domestic flight. It could prevent you from entering a federal building. It could even flag you for extra scrutiny every time you try to open a bank account or apply for a loan. Mark Peterson lost his trip to Spain. He lost $5,000. But he lost something far more valuable. He lost his faith in the system. He spent 6 months in a bureaucratic nightmare sending faxes and certified letters, and finally, after hiring a lawyer for $2,000, managed to get the 25-year-old ticket dismissed, which eventually cleared the flag in the system. He finally got his passport, but the experience changed him. He felt digitally fragile. He realized that his identity, his very citizenship, wasn't as solid as he thought. It was just a collection of data points, and a single error could bring the whole thing crashing down. So I ask you again, how certain are you that your own digital record is perfect? Have you lived in multiple states? Is your name common? Have you ever had a piece of mail go to an old address? Because the very systems designed to make us safer are creating a new kind of vulnerability. A world where you can be found guilty of a data conflict and sentenced to a bureaucratic nightmare, without any trial, without any judge, and without any way to face your accuser, because your accuser is just lines of code. So what can be done about it? Is there a way to audit your own identity? A way to find and fix these digital ghosts before they come back to haunt you at the airport check-in counter? The answer is yes, but it's not what you think. And the government is already quietly rolling out a new program that could give you unprecedented control over your digital self, or it could create an even more intrusive system than we have now. And understanding how that new program works is the single most important thing you need to know before 2026 arrives. This new program is officially being called the Digital Traveler Credential, or DTC. But don't let the bland, bureaucratic name fool you. The concept behind it is revolutionary, and it's designed to completely overhaul the way you prove who you are. To understand its power, let's forget about government websites and technical manuals for a second. Instead, let's imagine a trip you might take in 2027. You're standing in line to check your bag at the airport. Instead of fumbling for your driver's license or passport book, you pull out your phone. You tap it on a reader at the counter. The agent's screen flashes green. They don't see your home address, your exact date of birth, your height, or your weight. All the screen tells them is two simple facts cryptographically verified. 1. Your name is the name on the ticket. 2. You are a real, authenticated person legally allowed to fly. That's it. You move to security. Another tap of your phone. The TSA agent's screen flashes green. It confirms you are on the flight manifest and that you are enrolled in a trusted traveler program. It doesn't need your passport number or your date of birth. It just needs a yes. Finally, you get to the gate to board the plane. One last tap. The gate agent system gets the only piece of information it needs: that you are the ticketed passenger for seat 14B. Not your nationality, not your age. Just that you belong on this plane. In this entire process, you've proven your identity 3 times without ever showing a physical document and, more importantly, without ever oversharing your personal information. This is the promise of the Digital Traveler Credential. It's built on a concept called selective disclosure. Think about it. When you show your driver's license to a bartender to prove you're over 21, you are also giving them your full name, your home address, your date of birth, and a host of other details. They don't need any of that. All they need is a yes or no answer to a single question. Is this person of legal drinking age? The DTC system unbundles your identity. It takes all the facts about you that are stored in your passport, your citizenship, your age, your name, and allows you to share only the specific piece of information required for any given transaction, all from a secure digital wallet on your phone. The government, through the State Department, would issue you these cryptographically signed, verifiable credentials. It's like them handing you a stack of digital cards. One card just says, is a US citizen. Another just says, is over 18. Another says, is the person named John Smith. When you need to prove something, your digital wallet presents the relevant card, and the person checking it can instantly verify that it was legitimately issued by the government and hasn't been tampered with. It's powerful, it's private, and it's incredibly convenient. This is the world they are selling us. A world without friction, where your identity is secure because you never have to hand over the keys to the whole kingdom just to open a single door. This is the unprecedented control I was talking about. You, the individual, get to decide what information you share. But, and this is the biggest but we have ever discussed, for every single one of those utopian promises, there is an equal and opposite dystopian risk. Let's pull back the curtain. This system, this digital traveler credential, while promising to give you control, also requires the creation of a centralized digital identity infrastructure the likes of which the United States has never seen. And with any centralized system comes 3 monumental risks: control, security, and surveillance. First, let's talk about control. Who is the ultimate issuer of these credentials? The government. This means they are also the ultimate revoker. In the current system, if you lose your passport, it's a hassle, but you still exist. You have a driver's license, a birth certificate, a social security card. Your identity is spread across multiple physical and digital systems. In a world that runs on DDCs, a single government agency could, with a flip of a switch, digitally invalidate your existence. Imagine your credentials being temporarily suspended because of a tax dispute, a legal issue, or even being flagged by an error-prone algorithm. You wouldn't just be unable to fly. In a future where this technology is widely adopted, you could be locked out of banking, federal buildings, or even state-level services. It creates a digital choke point for civil liberties. The very tool that promises to empower you could be used to control you in ways that are currently impossible. Second, security. A centralized database of digital identity credentials for every American traveler would instantly become the single most valuable target for hackers on planet Earth. State-sponsored cybercriminals, terrorist organizations, sophisticated criminal syndicates, they would all be laser-focused on breaching it. We're told the data is decentralized and held in our own wallets, but the government still has to maintain the infrastructure to issue and verify these credentials. A breach of that system would be catastrophic. It wouldn't be like a credit card breach where you can just cancel the card. A breach of your foundational identity credentials could lead to a new wave of identity theft so perfect, so complete, that you could spend the rest of your life trying to prove you are actually you. The digital ghost created by the hacker would be, for all intents and purposes, just as valid as you are. And third, the most insidious risk of all, surveillance. The system is designed for selective disclosure, which sounds great for privacy, but every time you use your DTC, you create a digital breadcrumb. A transaction is logged. The Transportation Security Administration knows you checked in at JFK at 8:05 a.m. Customs and Border Protection knows you tapped your phone at the border crossing in San Diego at 4:30 p.m. A hotel chain knows you used your credential to check in. Each individual data point might seem harmless, but when combined, they create a perfect, real-time ledger of your movements. Who gets access to this metadata? Who stores it? For how long? The promise is that it's private, but we've seen how government agencies use national security as a justification to collect and analyze data on a massive scale. This system could, unintentionally or by design, become the most powerful mass surveillance tool ever deployed against the American public. It would know where you are, who you're with, and what you're doing, all in real time, all under the guise of convenience and security. So, how does this all connect back to that new passport you'll be getting in 2026? The next generation passport is not just a travel document anymore. It is the physical key to this new digital world. The advanced cryptographic chip inside it will be the breeder document for your first digital traveler credential. In order to create your secure digital identity in your phone's wallet, you will likely have to tap your phone to your physical passport, using the chip to prove you are its rightful owner. Your 2026 passport is the bridge. It's the physical anchor that connects your real-world identity to the new digital ecosystem. It is the foundational layer upon which this entire structure of convenience and control is being built. When you hold that new, slightly thicker, more advanced passport in your hand, you're not just holding a booklet that lets you visit other countries. You're holding the admission ticket to a completely new system of identity verification. And whether that system leads to more freedom and privacy, or to more surveillance and control, is the single most important question we face. The technology itself is neutral, but how it's implemented is not. And the rules for that implementation are being written right now behind closed doors. And what's happening behind those doors is the creation of a new social contract, one we're not being invited to negotiate. This isn't just a few bureaucrats in the State Department deciding on a new font for the passport. This is a coordinated effort between government intelligence agencies, global technology corporations, and international aviation authorities. Think of it as a board meeting for the future of human movement, and you are not on the guest list. Their stated goal is noble, as it always is. They call it seamless travel. They call it intelligent borders. They promise a future where you can walk from the curb to your gate without ever breaking stride, without ever fumbling for a document or a boarding pass. Your face, your biometrics become your universal key. It's a world without lines, without friction, without the mundane frustrations of modern travel. And let's be honest, that sounds incredible. Who wouldn't want that? It's the ultimate convenience, the ultimate upgrade. They are selling us a first-class ticket to the future. But every transaction has a price. And the price for this ticket is not paid in dollars. It's paid in data. It's paid in autonomy. To create a system that knows you're safe enough to pass through a gate without stopping, that system must first know everything else about you. It needs to know more than just your name and your date of birth. A truly intelligent border doesn't just verify your identity, It assesses you. It calculates a risk profile. And to do that, it needs access to datasets that go far beyond what's on a traditional passport. We're talking about a level of data aggregation we've never seen before. Imagine a system where your passport is no longer a static document, but a dynamic, living profile. This profile is connected in real time to vast databases. Your travel history, of course, but what about your financial history? Any large, unexplained cash withdrawals? What about your social connections? Who are you friends with? Who have you been communicating with? What about your online activity? The articles you read, the groups you're a part of, the opinions you express online. Suddenly, the act of crossing a border is no longer a simple verification of citizenship. It becomes an automated, algorithmic judgment of your character, your associations, and your potential threat level. And this isn't some far-flung dystopian fantasy. The architecture for this is being built right now under programs with benign names like the Global Travel Assessment System and Known Traveler Digital Identity. Let's call it what it is: a traveler trust score. Think of it like a credit score, but for your freedom of movement. Every aspect of your digital life could potentially raise or lower that score. A perfectly compliant, predictable life? Your score is high. You breeze through the airport, enjoying the fruits of seamless travel. But what if you deviate? What if you attend a protest the government doesn't approve of? What if you donate to a political cause that's been flagged as problematic? What if you visit a country that's currently on a watch list? What if an algorithm simply makes a mistake, flagging a perfectly innocent transaction or association as suspicious? Your score drops. And when your score drops, the seamless world vanishes. Suddenly, you're the one who's randomly selected for secondary screening. Every single time. You're the one whose luggage is meticulously searched. You're the one taken to a back room for hours of questioning about your life, your beliefs, your friends. You might have your electronics confiscated, your data copied. You may even be denied the right to board a flight you paid for, with no clear explanation and no one to appeal to. How do you argue with an algorithm? How do you prove your innocence to a system that has already declared you a risk, based on 1,000 data points you don't even know it has? This isn't about stopping terrorists. We have systems for that. This is about social sorting and control on a massive scale. It's a system that incentivizes conformity. It subtly encourages people to self-censor, to avoid controversial topics, to keep their heads down, lest their trust score take a hit. It creates a chilling effect on free speech, free association, and even free thought. Because when your ability to see the world, to conduct business, to visit family is tied to a secret score based on your behavior, you learn to behave. The most insidious part is how we're being conditioned to accept it. Every time you use Clear to skip the security line by giving up your biometric data, you're voting for this future. Every time you use your face to board a flight with Delta or JetBlue, you're beta testing the very technology that will power this system. We are being sold convenience piece by piece, and in exchange we are handing over the keys to a digital cage. The 2026 passport isn't just a document. It's the platform. It's the central hub that will link your unchangeable government-verified identity to all of these other disparate data streams. It's the linchpin that makes the Traveler Trust Score possible. Before, your life was a collection of separate accounts. Your bank, your social media, your passport. They were siloed. What's coming is the great integration. A single unified profile that follows you from the digital world into the physical one. The transition from a system where you present your identity to a system where your identity is passively and constantly monitored is the single biggest change to civil liberties in our lifetime. And it's happening under the guise of progress and security. They are building the most sophisticated system of population control ever imagined, and they are getting us to pay for it and beg for it. The plan is nearly complete. The technology is ready. The data is being collected. But to make this system truly inescapable, to ensure that every single person is locked into their digital profile with no way out, they need one final piece of the puzzle. They need a universal key, a piece of hardware that can bridge the gap between your digital identity and your physical self. And it's something almost every single one of us already has in our pocket. Your smartphone. That's the key. It's not just a phone anymore, it's a vault. And inside that vault is the technology that makes this entire revolution in travel possible. Think about it. What makes your phone uniquely yours? It's not the apps, it's not the phone number. It's the biometrics. Your fingerprint. Your face. It's the one thing that is undeniably biologically you. For years, we've been using Face ID or a fingerprint scan to unlock our phones, To approve a payment with Apple Pay or Google Pay, we do it without thinking. It's seamless, it's secure, and it's instant. We trust it with our most sensitive financial data. The government has realized that this same technology is the perfect mechanism for verifying our identity on a national and international scale. But it's not just the camera or the fingerprint sensor. Deep inside your phone, whether it's an iPhone or a high-end Android, there's a tiny dedicated fortress. Apple calls it the Secure Enclave. Google has the Titan M chip. This isn't just software. It's a separate, physical processor completely isolated from the rest of your phone's operating system. Its only job is to handle and protect cryptographic keys and your biometric data. When you set up Face ID, your face map isn't stored on the cloud or in your phone's regular memory where an app could access it. It's encrypted and locked away in this hardware vault. The only thing that ever leaves that vault is a cryptographic yes or no when an authentication is requested. It's a digital Fort Knox in your pocket. This is the foundation. The biometrics prove you are you. The Secure Enclave ensures that proof can never be stolen or forged. Now, add the third piece of the puzzle: NFC, or near-field communication. It's the tech that lets you tap your phone to pay for groceries. It's a short-range, secure way for two devices to talk to each other. So you have the lock, the biometric sensor, the vault, the Secure Enclave, and the handshake, NFC. You have all the ingredients for a system that can replace a physical ID check. So here is how it all comes together in 2026. This isn't science fiction. This is the roadmap laid out by the Department of Homeland Security and the ICAO, the world's governing body for air travel. First, you'll get your new next-generation passport book, the one with the advanced chip we talked about. Then you'll use an official government app, let's call it the Digital Traveler app, to provision your identity. You'll open the app, and it will instruct you to scan the chip in your physical passport book with your phone, just by holding them close together. Then the critical step. The app will ask you to look at your phone's camera to verify your identity with Face ID. In that instant, your phone confirms that the person holding this specific valid US passport is you. The app then creates what's called a digital travel credential, or a DTC, and securely places it inside your phone's Secure Enclave. From that moment on, your phone holds a verifiable, government-issued, and cryptographically signed version of your passport identity. Your travel experience is now completely transformed. Imagine this. You're flying from Chicago to London in 2026. The night before, you check in on the airline's app. Instead of manually typing your passport number and expiration date, a prompt will pop up. Verify with your digital travel credential? You tap yes. Glance at your phone, Face ID confirms it's you, and that's it. You're checked in. Your boarding pass is issued. The airline has received cryptographic proof of your identity and your right to travel, without ever seeing your raw data. You get to the airport. You need to check a bag. You walk up to the self-service kiosk, tap your phone on the designated spot, and look at the small camera on the machine. The kiosk communicates with your phone asks for your approval via Face ID, and in less than a second, the system confirms your identity, pulls up your reservation, and prints your bag tag. You haven't touched your physical passport once. Now for the big one, the security line, the dreaded TSA checkpoint. By 2026, the rollout of biometric e-gates will be widespread. There's no line to show an agent your ID and boarding pass. You just walk toward a clear, automated gate. As you approach, a high-resolution camera scans your face. The system instantly and securely queries the digital travel credential on your phone, which is in your pocket. Your phone confirms your identity and flight details to the gate. The gate verifies that you are a ticketed passenger for that day, and the see-through doors slide open before you even have to break your stride. You just walk through. The entire process takes 3 seconds. Boarding the plane? Same thing. No more fumbling for your passport or phone while holding your carry-on luggage. You walk up to the gate, it scans your face, the light turns green, and you walk onto the jet bridge. And the final hurdle, arriving in London. You get off the plane and follow the signs for the e-gates. You walk up, the gate scans your face, compares it to the cryptographic photo in your digital travel credential that it securely requested from your phone, and confirms you are a valid US citizen. The gate opens. Welcome to the United Kingdom. Your physical passport book is still in your bag. Its pages as pristine and unstamped as the day you got it. Now you might be thinking, what if my phone dies? Is my physical passport useless now? Absolutely not. And this is a critical point. The physical passport book remains the root of trust. It is the primary foundational document. The digital credential on your phone is derived from it. You will absolutely still need to carry your physical passport. It's your ultimate backup. If your phone battery dies, if there's a system outage, or if you're traveling to a country that hasn't fully upgraded its systems, you'll use your passport book just like you do today. The goal isn't to eliminate the book, but to make 99% of your interactions with it unnecessary. The other major question is privacy. Are we just handing our data over to be stored in some massive hackable government database? The answer, surprisingly, is no. The entire system is being built on a principle of decentralized identity and data minimization. The credential lives on your device, in your control. When you walk up to a boarding gate, your phone doesn't broadcast. This is John Smith, born on April 5, 1985, living at 123 Main Street. Instead, the gate's reader asks a specific question, like, "Can you prove this person is a ticketed passenger on flight 850? Your phone, with your biometric approval, provides the simplest possible answer. A cryptographically signed, yes. The airline doesn't need to know your date of birth, only that you are who you say you are. This is a monumental shift in privacy. You are no longer handing over your document. You are approving a specific, limited query about your identity. This isn't a uniquely American project. This is a global standard being adopted everywhere. Europe, Australia, Singapore, the UAE, they are all building the same interoperable infrastructure. By 2026, this won't be a novelty. It will simply be the way the world travels. It's safer, because a digital credential confirmed by your face is infinitely harder to forge or steal than a physical book. It's more private, because you control when and what data is shared. And it is profoundly more efficient, promising an end to the long lines and tedious document checks that define modern air travel. The next generation passport is already being issued. The biometric airport gates are already being installed. The software is already being tested. We are in the middle of a quiet revolution. We're moving from a system of physical possession, showing a document, to a system of cryptographic proof, proving an identity. The future of travel isn't a far-off dream. It's being built on the technology you already own, secured by the face you see in the mirror every day. By 2026, when you hold up your phone to navigate a foreign city, remember that that same device is no longer just your map. It is your key, your credential, and your passport to a seamless, secure, and interconnected world.